Hey, this is Alfred, and this is an impromptu moment. And I just want to take a brief moment to share something with you. It's in Mark chapter 8. And once I read it, I'll let you know why I find it so intriguing. But I just had to share it. It's Mark chapter 8, and I'm going to read from 1 to verse 9. And this is what it says. It says, "It was during that time that a large crowd gathered, and they had nothing to eat. Jesus called his disciples to him and said to them, 'I feel sorry for these people, because they have been with me for 3 days. And now they have nothing to eat.'" So it's been 3 days and they have nothing to eat. "If I send them off to their homes hungry, they will collapse on the way. Some of them have come a long distance." Some of the crowds came a long way to see Jesus, to hear Jesus, to be in the presence of Jesus Christ. They've come a long way. His disciples said to him, How can anyone eat bread to satisfy these people in a remote place like this?" In a remote, isolated place like this, how can these people be fed? "How many loaves do you have?" he asked them. They answered, 7. He then told the crowd to sit down. On the ground, made a blessing, blessed the loaves, broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to serve the people. They also had a few fish. Making a blessing over them, Jesus also ordered these to be served. The people ate their fill, and the disciples took up the leftover pieces, 7 large baskets full. About 4,000 were there. About 4,000 were there. That is Mark chapter 8, 1 through 9. And the reason why that intrigued me is because I told you back a little ways back about the wilderness and how the Israelites were in a desolate part of the wilderness where nothing could grow, and how the Lord provided manna from heaven. And here we are again in Matthew chapter 8, where the crowd has been with Jesus for 3 days in a remote place that could not produce or where anyone could go and buy food. And Jesus took what little the disciples had, the 7 loaves, and he blessed it, and he broke it, and he gave it to the disciples to give to the crowd. And then he also takes the fish, and he blesses that, and he also has the disciples serve that to the crowd, which was about 4,000. And the 4,000 were fed and full. The miracle itself is powerful, but what's even more powerful is how Jesus took care of this crowd while they abided in him, with him. While they abided with him, Jesus took care of the 4,000. The disciples said to the Lord, "How are we going to feed these people in a remote place?" The Lord Jesus Christ sustained you in a remote place. After 3 days and no food, Jesus had compassion on them and said to his disciples, "I don't want to send them away without them being filled." This is the benefit of abiding in Jesus Christ. They are in a remote location. It is out of their power to buy food or to produce food. Jesus had to provide for them. Jesus had to feed them. The only resource you have is Jesus Christ. And by abiding in Jesus Christ, he takes care of you. They traveled far just to hear him and to be near him and to be in his presence. And Jesus took care of them. He changes not. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if he took care of the 4,000 that came to see him and abided with him for 3 days, he is the same God who will take care of you if you abide in him. And so I just found that chapter intriguing, and I just had to get on and share that with you. Abide in Jesus. If you abide in Jesus Christ, he will take care of you. He told his disciples, I am concerned for these who have come to see me, and I must respond to their needs. Their need at that time was that they had run out of food after 3 days, and he did not want to send them away hungry. Jesus will fill you up before you go your way, because you abide in him. They sought him, and they found him, and they abided with him for 3 days, listening to him, taking in what he had to give them. And then he provided them nourishment to help them on their journey back to their homes. That's the Jesus I serve. That's the Christ I serve. If I abide with him and he with me, he will take care of me. He will take care of you. That's all I had for you. Mark chapter 8, verse 1 through 9.